I ain't even heard the ball. I wonder why it was a whole bunch of standing going around. Let me get that. Get on.
A chance here to catch up with Allie from the sideline.
I was able to talk with Kenny Atkinson for a minute, and we got right to it. The question of how do you stop Zion? From what Coach told me, it's all about being physical. He said, we're not going to let him run us over in the lanes or just stomp us inside. We're going to fight back hard. So it sounds like Coach is expecting high effort physically from his team.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Allie. Pass to Williamson. Here's Coleman. Three-pointer off the mark. First quarter, just over a minute played. Johnson for three. Always a nice way to start. Makes his first one.
The first good move in a long chess match between these coaching staffs.
Yeah, now we get to see the counter play. How you respond is half the battle out there.
Baltimore shooting their first free throws tonight. The first free throw is good.
Bless you.
He's perfect from the line this time. Stan, one of the most impressive streaks in sports history. The San Antonio Spurs, one of the smallest markets in the NBA, making 22 consecutive playoffs.
Yeah, and Brian, there's nothing that I respect more than consistent success year after year. I think it's harder than having that one great year. What San Antonio did in those years is incredible.
And they had a great sideline quarter out here, too.
Good-looking guy.
So it's San Antonio now. Shot to the basket by Baltimore on the other end.
And that ends their drought. You could feel the frustration building with each miss.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just how it goes. But also, we got to give credit to the defense. They're not making it easy out there.
From deep, Johnson. Can't hit. 1 for 2 now. Pass to Coleman. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Offensive rebound. From deep. Nails it from beyond the arc.
One Wemby.
Got 5 now.
You don't want to let him get into a rhythm from out there.
Johnson with it. Takes the three. It's hauled in by Wembanyama.
Oh, he's frustrated there. You know he wanted to come right back with the three of his own.
Should have kicked that shit with Wemby.
Pass to Castle. Wembanyama with a bucket. And that ties it up.
If this is what everyone wants to see Wembanyama doing, dominating on the inside.
On the wing, Thompson. And here's Holmgren. Fires the three. He drops it from range.
Yeah, it's just too easy for Holmgren. Man, is he fun to watch operate off the catch.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in this first quarter. Puts up a deep three. They get it back. Here's Williamson. Here's Coleman. Misses the three.
He hasn't been at his best this quarter. I'd like to see him be a little more patient.
Pass to Holmgren. Here's Thompson. Oh, from deep. The rebound by Victor Wembanyama. Oh, and a fast break for the Spurs. Stolen by Thompson. Now here's Holmgren. And the big finish by Holmgren.
Yeah, the defense making it way too easy for Holmgren. Got to push him farther out than this.
And, Coach, how about the Thompson twins making their impact felt in the 2023 draft?
Yeah, Brian, we've seen twins in the NBA before, albeit not very often. But these two made history that draft day, becoming the first pair of twins to be selected in the top 5 of the same draft.
An aggressive move to a strong finish.
Yeah, and getting out in transition allows for some easy points before that defense is fully set.
Driving in. Johnson for three. And so far in this one, 2 for 4.
Well, when you have a scorer as skilled as he is, you do everything you can to get him the looks he needs.
Here's Coleman. 7 points in the game. There's a screen for 3. Vassell can't get it to go.
I love how they've attacked the boards here in the first quarter.
Pass to Thompson. Blue. And it's off from three-point range.
Well, that's what the defense has to do. Make that shot as uncomfortable for him as possible.
Here's Coleman. Can't hit that one. Good D by Mobley. Baltimore leading
All right, the
by
floater.
4. Here's Holmgren. The rebound by the Spurs. Here's Coleman. Mobley grabs the board.
Well, if you give him that shot again, I'm willing to bet he nails it, especially with that lack of defensive effort.
And that concludes the first quarter of play. Baltimore out in front. They lead by 4. And we'll be back shortly for the...
It's all right. Something minor.
Let's get you back to the action on the floor as the New Year's Eve
It's minor.
festivities continue. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for Baltimore.
Well, the thing about hitting early threes, it spaces the floor and makes things a lot easier offensively.
And they've done a tremendous job just creating havoc defensively. Active hands have led to tons of turnovers that they've capitalized on.
Williamson left side. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Coleman. They get the rebound. Second chance shot. Wow, that wiry strength of Wembanyama.
Yeah, terrific follow-through from Wembanyama, proving he has a good head on his shoulders.
All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Chet Holmgren makes up for his light frame with aggression. He said, quote, "You don't have to take a second look at me now to know that I'm not the biggest dude width-wise, so I have to hit first. Otherwise, the game's not going to go in my favor when things get physical," unquote. Right?
This shit's Zah.
I do, and you can tell he just refuses to back down, Allie.
And this is how athletic Williamson is. An absolute wrecking ball on the offensive glass.
First personal foul. First team foul.
Quarter number 2 with just over a minute of play. And the three-pointer goes. He's got 7.
That's inexcusable defense right there. You gotta contest the shot better than that.
And Greg Popovich has called timeout. A moment to rest and confer on the game plan.
Let me know when you back. No. Take your time, cuz. Give me time to heat this pizza up. Then I can get back to commencing a busting your ass. What we doing? Bust your blue ass. When we doing it now. Oh.
Substitution on the court.
Here's Coleman. He's got 7. Pass to Highsmith. Here's Coleman. Launches it. Gets the 3 to fall. Coleman's got 10 points.
Well, those go down for him in his sleep.
Now approaching 2 minutes of action here in the second. Now Mobley. Stolen by Jackson. Here's Coleman. Holmgren with the block.
And you can't forget about Holmgren's reach, especially when he's nearby on defense.
And they take the lead. Harper's got his first 2 points. And growing up in California, Stan, when did you first fall in love with the game of basketball?
Well, Brian, my dad coached for a long time, and I just remember going to his practices and going to his games. I can't remember a time where I didn't love the game.
Out to the wing. Jacks up a 3. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
I mean, I guess they're willing to give him that shot. They may want to rethink that strategy, though.
Johnson on the wing. Money from the wing. Give him 8.
Terrific ball movement leading to the basket. You love to see it.
Pass to Harper. Here's Coleman. Rejected by Holmgren.
Yeah, just an excellent shot block. Holmgren is so good at using his length and timing to erase shot attempts.
San Antonio with the ball. 3-point lead. Here's Coleman.
Just imagine if he was shooting better. The lead would be even bigger.
Off target with the 3. Blue. And a miss there on the triple. San Antonio leading by 3. Pass to Harper. Here's Coleman. Fires the 3. Mobley grabs the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to shoot his way out of this one or not.
And one thing that Morant has always been elite at, finding a seam in a defense and getting to the rim, Grant.
Yeah, any crack allows him to get inside. And as good as anyone at splitting a double, which he sees a lot of. So once inside, he can finish with authority or kick it out to a shooter.
And we've got a timeout called by Greg Popovich. Coach wants to speak to his guys, maybe alter some of the game plan.
I'm subbing my man out.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Here's Murray. And it's Baltimore with a rebound.
Well, you got to miss sometimes, but that one seemed like a gimme.
Kicks it out to Smart. To the inside. Here's Stewart. That's in. Coming off an assist from Smart.
Well, this is where Stewart should look to score. he can be very effective down low.
Pass to Highsmith. There's a minute 47 left to play in the first half. And it's Murray finishing it off.
I'll tell you, those finishes are always extra special when they come from your point guard.
Oh, forget about his passing. Can we see more dunking?
Wow, that is an impressive vertical for a point guard. My goodness.
And just a great job of getting there first and absorbing the contact.
In the lineup for the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle.
San Antonio leading.
In the first half, you want to stay aggressive, but you also want to be careful. That is his second foul already.
Into the lineup for the Spurs, number 16, Quentin Clifford.
Vassell outside. Here's Castle. Oh, and he nails it from the high post.
Well, more and more, Vassell keeps others involved. He's becoming a great passer.
And Kenny Atkinson has called a timeout. He wants to review the game plan. You know, Grant, you talk to scouts about Stephon Castle. They just feel like this guy's a winner.
Well, certainly we saw that at Connecticut. Now, as a freshman, he was a key piece in their title run. He actually turned up his game in the tournament, and that's rare for any freshman.
Bum, 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 bum.
And there's the 8-second violation as they can't get it across
Dang.
half court in time.
You know, when you're trailing, you can't afford mistakes, and he's made a few of them tonight.
And 1:01 left in the first half. Pass to Wembanyama. The big man, Wemby for two.
Well, Wembanyama can do it all, but the coaching staff would like to see him stay in the paint as much as he can.
And the foul called on Victor Wembanyama. That's foul number 2 for him.
Second personal foul. Second team foul.
There's 37 seconds left in the half. Blue.
They need his offense right now, but his shot is just not falling.
Wembanyama, the open look. Nails the wide open jumper. Wembanyama's got 6 here in the quarter.
When Wembanyama goes up, he can be so quick. I mean, the rookie looking very assertive.
Pass to Edwards. Can they get it? The shot won't fall. Now here's Williamson. And stolen by Edwards. And we've reached halftime in this one. It's the Spurs up 7. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports. And if you're just joining in, one half is in the books.
You can sub your man out, cuz.
Smart with the ball. No points yet. Stewart outside. Oh, rejected by Wembanyama.
With his length and energy, Wembanyama has the ability to be a
Man, what a foul,
game-changing
man.
defender.
To the middle. And stolen by Williamson. And here they come. Here's Coleman. And he makes no mistake. Slam dunk.
Can you say immediate entry into the highlight reel? Woo, what a tough BA.
It's showtime now, man. They've built up a lead, and they're starting to rub it in.
And for the defense, that is a heart-sinking moment when you see him that wide open from beyond the arc.
Fuck, he got hurt?
Blue. Here's Stewart. And finished off by Stewart.
Well, you know, Stewart really hustles whenever he's out there. Great energy on the glass.
Here's Coleman. 12 points for him. Shots blocked. And they're able to recover. Yep, that one goes.
Timeout, timeout.
Wembanyama's got 10 points in the game.
Have to take care of the defensive boards better than that.
Yeah, they need to pay attention to the details. Second chance points are backbreakers.
And we've got a timeout called by Kenny Atkinson. He wants to give him a breather, talk things over. Third quarter of basketball. We're about a minute and a half in. Pass to Stewart. Outside Robinson. Picked by Stewart. The three. And it's Robinson with the three. All right, Coach, what are some qualities you're looking for in a lead guard?
Well, look, you want a guy that can make plays, that can control the game. When I first got into the league, people thought about point guards as traditional pass-first guys. But now it means more than that. You want a guy who can make plays, whether it's for himself or for his teammates.
For the tie. It's hauled in by Wembanyama. And Wembanyama has the ball here for the Spurs. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Pass to Coleman. The three ball.
Oh,
Edwards pulls it
those
in.
were the pump fake.
Since hitting 2 triples in the first half, he's been non-existent from out there.
Here's Robinson. Outside Edwards. And here's Smart. Ooh, nice. Smart slipping inside.
This is anyone's game now, and they have the momentum.
Yeah, taking away the lead is never easy. But a rally like this is how you do it.
And he just hasn't been able to get it going this period.
Well, the offense has to look for ways to get him easier shots, better selection, set up for success.
And when it comes to the three, they've been really dialed in here in the second half.
And one thing's for sure, when Duncan Robinson is
Shoot
on
that.
the court, he has the greenest of green lights, Coach.
Yeah, Brian, look, he's one of the most lethal shooters around. He draws intense defensive attention, and then he's added to his game as a passer and as a guy who can take the ball to the basket.
The defense is nowhere to be found guarding the three-point shot.
And we've got a timeout called by Greg Popovich. He wants a few moments to regroup with his players.
Oh, it's 68. Tied.
And the Spurs making a change here. A little under 3.5 minutes off the clock now in the third quarter. Pass to Coleman. Driving to the basket. Kicks it out to Williamson. And
Come
it's
on,
out of bounds.
bro.
Last touch by Williamson.
Part of passing the rock is calculating risk and reward. I don't think that was a great decision.
And here's Baltimore now.
It wasn't. That's why I'm
They've
icy.
gone on a 16-2 run.
I
not
get out
allowing
that
much.
shit though.
Blue. Offline with a three.
Gotta love how they've been crashing the boards, fighting hard for every miss.
And the dunk by Jackson.
He knew exactly where his man was going to be. Outstanding lead pass.
Baltimore.
You kind of wonder where his head's at. The shot selection hasn't been there. And, of course, that one was just crazy.
Pass to Johnson. Counted from distance. Johnson's got 11 points. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for Baltimore.
Well, all you can ask for is your guys to be really active on D, and they've been more than that tonight.
And let's talk about their blocks. When you're facing a team swatting shots, it becomes a mental situation as well. Makes you think twice before you fire.
Here's Vassell. And it's in there. Vassell's got his first basket.
And when Wings take it down low, good things happen.
A minute 4 left in the third quarter. And it's Smart missing. Spurs trail by 4. Here's Coleman. 12 points for him. Jackson with it. Now guarded by Mobley. Coleman. Rejected by Holmgren.
Yeah, and they're fighting to get back in this one, but unfortunately, he just keeps coming up empty.
They call that a foul.
You can't block it. Sending him to the line can be the next best thing.
Baltimore shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
Taking 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. The Spurs making a switch here. That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
2-part equation. You have to be aggressive enough to get to the line, then talented enough to sink them.
Pass to Vassell. Now here's Jackson. Vassell outside. Clock at 6. Down low. Holmgren with the block. And he recovers it. And they pick up 2.
Hey, they're just getting pushed around inside. You'd like to let the clock run and take the final shot.
Yeah, unless it's a gimme, there's no reason to put up an early shot here.
Blue. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Baltimore out in front. They're up by 4. All right, we're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of quarter number 4 next. Man, I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. And it's Murray with the ball for the San Antonio Spurs. From behind the arc. And it's Holmgren with a rebound. Baltimore leading by 4.
And this has been a problem for him tonight. Way too many turnovers.
Spurs ball.
Here's Murray. Pass to Castle. Now Murray. Vassell outside. Left side, Wembanyama. Back to Vassell. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Such a wide open look.
Well, you know, one thing that makes Murray a great player, he can score with or without the ball.
Mobley on a screen. Johnson on the wing. Here's the 3. That one is off. On offense, here are the Spurs. Here in the fourth quarter, their defense has been very strong. No baskets allowed. Right side, Murray. And he misses the go-ahead basket. Oh, lots of drama in this game so far.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to the final buzzer. I know he's on a cold streak, but he can't let that get in his head.
Yeah, they might want to draw something up here to get him something at the rim or get him to the free throw line. Sometimes that's all it takes to snap a cold streak.
Oh, the dunk by Smith.
For Vassell to really make an impact, that's what he has to do. Initiate the offense.
And we've got a timeout called by Kenny Atkinson. He clearly wants to talk it over and make sure everyone is focused. A big group substitution here for San Antonio. All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Well, over the break, I did listen in on Kenny Atkinson's huddle. Coach telling their team, this is a tight one. We need full effort defensively, 1 or 2 stops, and we will win this game. A coach preaching defense, a familiar tune.
Good job there, Allie. Thanks. And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth now. Pass to Harper. Back to Murray. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
What a difference a half can make. As much as he struggled in the first half, he certainly made up for it with his play in the second half.
Here's Johnson from outside the arc. The rebound by Post.
He didn't make them pay for that weak defense, but they just can't rely on him to miss those kind of shots.
Outside Murray. Pass to Jackson. Here's the floater. And he lays it up and in. Now it's a 3-point Spurs lead.
Great touch there. It's just so tough to defend a floater like that.
Mobley with it. And here's Holmgren. And they turn it over. Shot clock violation as the buzzer sounds.
Well, that one stings. In a game where every possession counts, he just gave one away.
San Antonio leading by 3. And they've been producing at a high level.
No question. They're in a nice rhythm offensively.
Rejected by Holmgren.
They managed to get the rebound, but that's an area where they've been struggling tonight.
From deep, Mobley. The shot that time not on target. To the paint. And stolen by Holmgren. Blue. Williams grabs the board. And we've got a whistle. He was fouling with a purpose. And in that spot, in that situation, it's got to be a transition take foul. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for the Spurs.
Well, you got to love their aggressiveness on the offensive glass. They have just refused to give up on any of the plays.
And also attacking in transition has been working for them. I mean, we credit them for running the break well and being opportunistic.
That's to Holmgren to stop the run. Hits a three-pointer.
These moments are important for Holmgren's development. He needs to keep sinking those big-time shots.
Here's Vassell, covered by Johnson. Vassell's shot is good.
Well, they needed a bucket right there, and it's Vassell who answers the call.
The teardrop. And so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair. It's on Devin Vassell. He gets the first, and that shrinks the margin to just 4. Good on both.
In tense situations at the line, they can count on him to keep his cool.
Minute 32 left in the fourth quarter. Coleman. And it's Holmgren with a rebound. It's stolen by Wembanyama. And from 16 feet away, he cans it. And the Spurs lead by 5.
No fear in this young man. We're already getting a sense of Wembanyama's killer instinct.
And we've got a timeout called by Kenny Atkinson. And a great call on his part. This is the time you want to be in sync right here. Oh, he picked him clean. Now the Spurs moving it up the floor. Zion packs it home.
Yeah, and that's about as natural as breathing to him. Zion lives above the rim.
Again, the miss by Baltimore.
We all know he's a good shooter. But from that distance, I don't think so.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's jacking him up from way out there these days. You want guys to stay within themselves. Yeah, there's no reason for the defense to get out on him right now. Just let him keep taking that shot until he shows them he's going to knock it down.
Do not test Evan Mobley, a top-level shot blocker.
You don't give a fuck about no Evan Mobley, nigga.
43 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Coleman. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but he drew the foul, and he'll go to the line.
No debate there. He got hammered.
Oh, I missed one.
The first of two, no good. A heartbreaker. And he does get the second one. And that'll push the lead to double digits.
He might not have made them all, but he made enough to put this one out of reach.
Blue. Again, the miss by Baltimore. And San Antonio has possession. Boom! He jams it straight down.
Excellent effort on the road. They've literally sucked the energy out of this arena.
Yeah, and winning games on the road is huge, especially when you get them in such a convincing fashion.
Here's Coleman. Good, and the assist to Wembanyama.
That's an inspired ball club. They fought hard, and during the most important moments, they made
Charge.
big plays.
Yeah, they saved their best basketball for this home stretch, and they certainly earned this win.
I love great defense. Just quick to establish his feet, and he takes the hit.
Here's Coleman. Misses there. And so it's San Antonio.
Good game, guys.
Exceptional.
Mm-hmm. 15.
They were
On my way to 50.
Focused indeed. I mean, it takes a strong mental approach to block out the distractions. These guys stepped up 100%.
Well, folks.
This is game 81 of 82. Sunday will be the finale of the regular season. Same two teams. Our coverage begins at 12:30 right here on FanDuel Sports Network. So if the playoffs started today, guys, here's what it looks like. Focus on the right side of your screen. Eastern Conference. The play would be Chicago, Miami, Orlando, and Atlanta. Go to the middle part of your screen. The 4-5 would be Indiana, Milwaukee. For the record, Milwaukee 3-1 against the Pacers this season. And then the 3-6 would be Knicks, Pistons. We know the Pistons obviously 3-1 against the Knicks in the regular season, but about to be decided throughout the weekend. Taylor Dunn. Struggling with the strike. That's good. The Pistons take it away. Number 4 is Steele. Gary Trent Jr. Pistons is 9 of 18 from the field.
Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us here on 2K Sports for the NBA. We're all dressed up and ready to go. With Hall of Famer Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. On the sidelines, we have David Aldridge reporting. These guys have been getting it done pretty much everywhere in the midst of a good stretch here. Back home again will propel them to another win.
And they've only played them once this season, but that win should give them some confidence heading into tonight, their final matchup.
They'd love to sweep this season series. I expect them to try to jump out early in this one.
Greg, with how explosive Ja Morant is, he has certainly taken his fair share of awkward falls.
And that's what worries you with guys like that. He's already had a number of injuries in his young career, but we all just want to see him at full health. Wembanyama is a specimen going at the rim there with a purpose.
Baltimore with the ball.
Blue,
that's good.
One thing I really like about Ausar Thompson, he's a team-first guy, always willing to make the extra pass.
Here's Coleman. He's a guy that can score, no doubt, averaging over 25 points a game.
A little artistry in the painted area, converting against the size.
Some guys just relish the challenge. Find a way, and he does.
Here's Blue. He is a solid producer, averaging nearly 22 points a game. 4 on the clock. There's the 3. Rebounded by the Spurs. From deep. Coleman, no good.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Holmgren at the elbow. Pass to Blue. Got a piece of it. A kick out to Mobley. Here's Thompson. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation.
Good D, y'all.
And with an update from the sideline, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Greg Popovich and I did speak a few minutes ago. Of course, Ja Morant's named first and foremost, so I asked him about the strategy. He said try to plug every defensive hole we see. I know if we give Morant any space, he'll try and slice right through us, so we can't have any cracks in the armor. A tall order for the defense against the unstoppable Morant. Back to you.
Thank you, David. Now, here's Thompson. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. Blue's shot is off.
Boy, with his shot not falling right now, it might be time to look in a different direction. See if you can get your teammates started.
Yeah, easy call.
Well, Greg, we know tonight marks the end of the year, the calendar year, but we're still in the thick of this NBA season.
No doubt, Kevin. And for teams that aren't doing as well, this is a good opportunity to reset. Leave all your troubles in last year and usher in the new one with a new mindset.
And Kenny Atkinson calls timeout here. He wants to make some adjustments to the game plan, clearly.
Them out.
Spurs making a switch here. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Here's Blue. Pass to Johnson. For the 3. Wembanyama with the rebound.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
Here's Williamson. And the rejection by Holmgren.
Already set the Summer League record for blocks in his first game. Holmgren, one of the best young shot blockers in the league. And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First first quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Here's Wembanyama. Some stats for him. He averages over 21 points a game. Shoots from 8. Baltimore with the rebound.
What a masterful job on the defensive end. Did everything possible to alter that shot.
And the foul called on Victor Wembanyama. That's his first foul. Baltimore making a switch here. Here's Smart. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Mobley with it. Now defended by Williamson. And the dunk by
He come up here and help out for. Need your help.
Given that Holmgren is 7 feet tall, he's a threat to throw it down at any time.
And Chet Holmgren's been a great player from day one, Doris. What do you like most about his game?
I don't know which aspect to hit. This guy is a great rim protector. He can shoot the basketball from three-point territory and with great range from 3. But maybe my favorite aspect is the competitive toughness he brings on a nightly basis.
Great awareness by Thompson, wanting to find his open teammates whenever he can.
They grab their own miss.
Boy, that's one he wishes he could have back, especially against soft defense.
And not sure what he was thinking there.
Yeah, they got that one, but early on, it's really been a struggle for them to secure that defensive backboard. Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Now here's Johnson. He's provided them with some scoring function. Is averaging 13 points a game. Not often you see him take that shot.
If he develops a consistent three-point shot,
Thompson hitting threes.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah.
And timeout is called by Greg Popovich. He's ready to talk things through with the team. Spurs trail by 3. 58 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's the 3. Coleman gets the bucket. Coleman's got 9.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
And Stephon Castle is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Second team.
Going inside. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. Baltimore shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. And he makes the first. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
This is about the last guy you want to send to the stripe right now. They keep fouling him, and he keeps making them.
Jackson with the bounce pass. Shot from the top of the key. And it's San Antonio with another.
This guy is putting his fingerprints all over the game in this quarter. He has flat out dominated the offensive end.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Baltimore moving that ball around. Shot by Caldwell Pope, no good. Here's Harper. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Here's Murray. It's tipped. Tie game in San Antonio.
You tried, 2K. You tried.
And we're getting back to the action in our New Year's Eve broadcast. And taking a look look at San Antonio's performance here. What do you think they've been doing or not doing?
Attacking, drawing fouls. They won that first quarter at the line.
They have done a tremendous job of drawing contact and putting officials in a place where they simply have to make the call.
Here's Smart. Hasn't made one yet. Pass to Blue. From past the arc. Highsmith grabs the miss. So it's the Spurs now. Outside for Wembanyama. Wembanyama! Big man with big range.
And I like when Wembanyama is aggressive on offense because defenses feel helpless to stop him.
With a short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. DeJounte Murray is not one for the fast lane. He said, I come from all that stuff, but I've been done that. I'm a homebody. I'm focusing on basketball. There's a lot going on in this world, so it's about being smart. Kevin, growing up in South Seattle, he's seen it all.
You know, David, he counts himself fortunate to have escaped all of that. Thank you. And the shot goes in. And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for the Spurs.
I love the defensive concentration so far in this one. They're getting out on shooters and really doing a great job of disrupting the rhythm.
You know, also, they've been incredible on the fast break, taking those chances, playing with great pace.
Now here's Jackson. 7-point game, the biggest lead in the game. Pass to Wembanyama. A second chance effort, and he sinks the layup.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
And Kenny Atkinson calls timeout. He wants to check in with his team and regroup. Mobley outside. Pass to Stewart. Here's Blue. Greg, you've been a part of some great contending teams over the years, but what's it like being on a team at the bottom of the standings with not a lot of hope for the regular season?
Well, Kevin, no one likes losing, but it can certainly take a toll. But it can also allow you to play more freely when you know you're bad and you're not having to deal with the pressure of expectations.
And the foul called on Victor Wembanyama. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's Blue. He's got 8. 6 to shoot. Shot to stop the run. Outside for Smart.
Not much success from beyond the arc for him here. They should look to work it inside a little bit more and get some easy looks in the paint.
Tries again. And Wembanyama with the flush.
Big time slam by Wembanyama. This is why you gotta push him out of the paint.
And Kenny Atkinson calls timeout here. Looking for a breather and maybe just one or two things to talk about. Baltimore trails by 11. Now some have argued that Wembanyama deserved Defensive Player of the Year consideration in his rookie year.
And Kevin, I can see where they're coming from. His team went from a bottom 5 defense to a top 5 defense when he was on the floor. His impact is amazing.
And it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
And we've got a timeout from Greg Popovich. He's made the decision. He wants to huddle up with his guy. Here's Thompson. Pass to Mobley. Here's Blue. 5 to shoot. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
And with that one, he halts an 11-0 run by San Antonio.
To the paint. Here's Coleman. Pass to Castle. Nailed from three-point land. Castle's got the lead up to 12 now for the Spurs. Here's Blue. An easy 2 points on the layup. Blues got 10 points.
Oh, nice drive there to get to the bucket, using some of that terrific agility that he possesses.
I'll tell you, he's trying to help them extend this lead, but it's been a tough night for him individually.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
He'll take his 3rd and 4th free throw shots in the game right here.
And over the course of last year, he was up over 90%. And with a stroke like that, you see why.
Spurs leading by 8. Here's Coleman. It's Chet Holmgren with the rebound.
Boy, what a nightmare quarter for this guy. He's playing right into the hands of the defense at this point.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Boy, it's incredible how much explosive scoring ability can come from the lead guard position. That is a big-time play.
Baltimore shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And up around 82% as a team a season ago. So they know how to make the most of those opportunities.
Both good from the line that time.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
Pass to Coleman. Puts up a deep 3. Mobley with the rebound.
No idea why he's attempting so many outside shots. It's not his day, and he needs to either look to drive or get it to an open team.
Hello. I mean, that's what I call a move.
That is some artistry. Greg, you're right. On his way to the basket, he was soaring. And timeout is called by Greg Popovich. He wants to talk to his guys. San Antonio leading by 4. Here's Coleman. Baltimore with the rebound. Johnson in the corner. And Baltimore again with the bucket. And out of bounds as Baltimore gains possession. Mobley left side. Pass to Johnson. Mobley outside. The tray. Rebounded by Jackson. And so it's Vassell who brings up the ball for the Spurs. And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
And he just seemed to have a little more fire in the first quarter than he has in this one. And it showed in all the trips he made to the free throw line. Those have dried up.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. Baltimore on offense. They're on a 12-4 run. Baltimore shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight. And that one falls for Smart.
But I just love how Marcus Smart plays the game of basketball. He's aggressive, he's intelligent, and he doesn't mind getting under your skin.
He's perfect from the line this time. Here's Coleman. He's got 15. Down low. Wembanyama. And it's Wembanyama with the jam.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive. Game so far. Spurs lead by 4. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half. And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Here's Blue. Sweet move. And he dunks it down.
Big hops from the backcourt.
Oh, absolutely. And maybe just what they need to get this game, GA, going in their direction.
Boy, as tight as this one is, that's a statement play saying, hey, listen, we're not here to back down from you guys.
Oh, going high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam. Here's Blue. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Nice work to get it inside and drop contact.
For Baltimore, they've been a perfect 8 of 8 at the line.
Well, probably a little draft in the arena tonight. He's the last guy you expect to miss the mark by that.
Absolutely. Here's Castle. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game.
Incredible athleticism from Murray. A combo guard with some serious elevation.
Baltimore with the ball after the basket by San Antonio. And Greg, remember, in DeJounte Murray's rookie year, he played in the Western Conference Final.
Murray was the youngest player in that series, playing 20 minutes a game, competing against the KD Steph Warriors. How about that for a welcome to the NBA?
Here's Blue, following the score by DeJounte Murray. Again, the miss by Baltimore. Pass to Vassell. Jackson with the bounce pass. Vassell with it. Spurs passing it around. Shot clock at 5. And out of bounds as Baltimore gains possession. Spurs making a switch here.
Substitution on the court.
Baltimore trails by 7. Here's Blue. 2 minutes gone in this third quarter now.
Second team
Fourth foul.
Come on, yo.
Needs to be smart. Can't reach in and pick up something foolish.
They was press the analog up. Put my hands up.
And Kenny Atkinson calls timeout here. Wants to talk some things over. Might be seeing some things to adjust.
Dumbass game, yo. I swear, it's like they want a nigga to foul out.
And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Floats it up for Holmgren. And the dunk by Holmgren.
And give credit to Holmgren for jumping all over that opportunity, putting his length to great use.
Pass to Castle. To the middle. Love the confidence from Wembanyama.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
No, I think that's the one thing every player is searching for. Consistency. They're giving this guy a chance to carry the offense once again.
He lobs up the alley-oop pass. And Mobley throws it down.
Wow, that is some big-time airtime by Evan Mobley. My goodness.
Pass to Wembanyama. Just 5 on the clock. Back to Vassell. That drops. Nice feed that time from Wembanyama. Vassell's got 6 points. And the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
And not the most common call you'll see in the NBA, but hard to argue that pick wasn't illegal.
It is really difficult to get your feet completely set, to stay completely still. It's almost surprising to me that it isn't called more often.
Here's Coleman. He's got 17. Inside. Banked in off the glass. Coleman. Got 4 points now in the quarter.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Here's Blue. He's got 21. Pass to Mobley. The 3. Rebounded by Victor Wembanyama. Williamson left side. And stolen by Mobley. Here's Johnson. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Yeah, all right.
Hey guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Spurs?
And guys, how about the unselfishness and all about...
That's crazy, yo. Fucking fouls, yo. Fouls, yo. Yeah, I said pick one you had a chance at winning that. Like the name title, you ain't never getting one. We have a hard time with these boys too. And I know why. Cause you's a bum.
Welcome everyone
Bomb
to
bomb.
basketball.
Biggity bomb.
On 2K Sports. Tonight,
A
it's
bomb
OJ
bomb.
and
You's a
Abiyah.
bomb.
A celebration of the amazing Latin culture in this
Welcome
league.
to the Blue Party Pack, y'all.
All around the globe. A great tradition we get to enjoy.
We get to 10 subscribers.
Back to Morant.
I'm gonna give y'all a treat. I'm gonna beat this nigga by 50. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Williamson left side. And the rejection by Jackson.
Oh shit.
And there's the call on Andre.
He playing defense.
That is his first
I don't think he
foul
know
of
what
the
that
game.
is yet. We're gonna take the ball back right here. Defense.
So it's the visitors now. Grant. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. That's on Jaylen Brown.
Clearly a foul.
Newborns. That is newborns.
When they talk about the greatest power forward of all time, you better have Tim Duncan in the conversation, as that's him. Great to see.
Was there ever someone that you looked at and they were looking you dead in the face, no fear?
Tim Duncan. Wow. Tim Duncan. Like, I was looking, I'm bouncing, he was going, let him go. He was bouncing back. Like,
Tim was one of the greatest teammates I ever had. And I played with him in the Olympics. Me and Tim was the only ones to go after something was going on overseas or something. And me and Tim was the only ones that ended up going. The original team didn't go. So put together the whole team. LeBron was on the team, Melo, D-Wade, but they, you know what I mean? And I just remember Tim telling me, because we had a hard time, we was getting our ass whooped. And I remember just Tim telling me, man, play like you play. You know, play like the pest you were to us when we, you know what I mean? Don't be out here trying to play another way because we playing with a whole bunch of Olympians. You know what I mean? And I just remember him being such a great teammate. I remember we were in our dorm. I was asleep, and I woke up, and I had peanut butter between my feet and all in my hands. After that, I let that person, if they want to tell that story, I let them tell it. Tim snitched on who did it.
He told you?
And
Still gave it up?
And trust me, something happened. Something happened after that. That man is so good. And it was scary how good Tim was.
Sorry it took us a while to get you, but go ahead. I know you'll be brief.
I'm a white American born into poverty, and I overcame it. You know, the opportunities are here in America, and why can't we just start now? We hear all this violence. Why can't we just talk in a positive way and go forward instead of remembering all
Yes, Mr. Farrakhan commenting. According to the State of Black America by the Urban League, if we started right now, they said, we could never close the gap to black poverty and white poverty. She said, let us start right now. Let's forget the past. Notice this. When Jewish people remember the Holocaust and want the world to remember the Holocaust. Wait. Why do you want the world to remember? Because if the world does not remember, it is likely to repeat itself. And Jewish persons who suffered from the Holocaust want the world to remember this because the world turned its back while Jews were put in ovens. I, as a black person, want my people to remember what we have suffered and what we continue to suffer so that we will say like the Jews, never again. Never again. Sorry it took us a while to get you, but go ahead. I know you'll be...
What's your name? Skill. Dude, show me your fucking hands right now. Pull your fucking hand out. I swear to God, pull your fucking hand.
Hold on. We gotta go back, man. Shit.
Where, man? What's your name? Skill.
You heard him? He said, you heard him? He was like, don't do it. You already seen him reaching. But he got his hand in his pocket, too.
You got something.
Yeah.
Fucking hands right now. Pull.
Yeah. We gotta go.
Pull your fucking hand out. I swear to God, pull your fucking
Yeah, that nigga's about to... Yeah, he's about to...
What's your name? Skill. Dude, show me your fucking hands right now. Pull your fucking hand out. I swear to God, pull your fucking
Hold on. We gotta go back, man. Shit.
Where, man? What's your name? Skill.
You heard him? He said, you heard him? He was like, don't do it. You already seen him reaching. But he...
That free throw missing. In GA, we know a big focus in this matchup is going to be the front court. The center power forward combo is a good one.
And really, for both sides, Kevin, both these teams run their offenses through the big guys. It'll be fun to see who can disrupt the other team's rhythm in this one.
There's got to be something better than hurling
Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander to the inside. And stolen by Tatum. Near the three-point line, it's Mitchell. And it's Williamson with the rebound. Here's Brown. Driving inside. Brown jams it in.
Well, check out Brown getting flashy. That'll get him fired up.
Pass to Jackson. Here's Morant. No good on the three. Gilgeous-Alexander with it. He's picked up by Morant. Outside Levine. Stolen by Jackson. Here's Mitchell. And jams it right over Andre Drummond. Wow.
A dynamic leaper with an impressive wingspan. Mitchell usually has some flashy dunks up his sleeve.
Sure, why settle for the layup when you can just jam it home? You gotta love the aggressive finish.
Here's Morant following the bucket by Baltimore. Tatum wide open, fires one. Off target from outside.
Well, this isn't the start they wanted. Need to just settle down and move the ball for better shots. I'm sure he'd like to have that back. That's a missed opportunity.
Mitchell wide open. Good, and a nice assist from Morant. Mitchell's got 5 points so far. Levine gets the bucket.
Good job by Levine fighting for that position.
And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't.
Here's Morant. It's Drummond with the rebound. Now we'll go to David Aldridge, who spoke with Mike D'Antoni. David.
He knows how much Jason Tatum can impact the game. Coach told me Tatum has improved the way he reads the game, how he responds from defense. He's faster. That means we have to be crisp with how we rotate and send a double. Not a lot of wiggle room on the floor when Tatum is processing information. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, David. Brown, no good on the free throw.
There are so many different roles Jaylen Brown can take on for his team.
Gilgeous-Alexander with it. He's picked up by Morant. Knocked away. And stolen by Williamson. And the dunk by Gilgeous-Alexander.
Look, he wasn't going to miss that opportunity. He saw the open man and took it in.
What a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house. But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump
with an average of around 19.5 points a game, his scoring has been a constant for them.
What are you going to wear to the White House?
Kicks it out to
I'm
Mitchell.
not going to dress like
A
Zelensky, I'll tell
three-pointer
you
off
that.
the mark.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looks good from here.
Pass to
Just
Murray.
for starters, he laughs.
Over
I've never
Morant.
seen him laugh in public,
And
but he
Baltimore
does,
again
including
with
it
the
himself.
bucket.
And it's not fake.
And in recent
Believe me,
years,
as a
Murray has
comedian for 40
become
years,
one of the
I know
more
a fake laugh
effective,
when I hear it.
high-volume mid-range shooters in our league.
For three, Mitchell drains it from beyond the arc. Mitchell's got his third basket of the night.
Example, in the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know, the best thing about him, his hair.
It ain't time for her battle.
There was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed, and I go through the trap door.
Yeah, 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that.
He got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true. At one point, we were walking through his amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected. People who don't look you in the eye. People who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing. People whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know. Your mind is blown. So's mine. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it, I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out, because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. Told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. Got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. Told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, "You're right, they took none." I said, "Well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him." He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan. Wall Street. He was. I know. He said to Dana White, "You know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father." And I said, "Well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low." Again, no anger, just a little smile as if to say, "Yeah, I get it." The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and podium places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, "Disgusting, you're a terrible person." And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person doesn't live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was. And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list. Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing. The trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening judges, gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on that he'd seen our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, "I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard." I did, because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that, and without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it. At one point, I said to him, "You're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much?" And I know now you're all saying, "And what did he say to that?" Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, "Okay, I'll stop." So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats in a very generous amount of time. and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk? As opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really? That's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold ours? Okay. That's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high.
That whole time, that's what she was, hungry. Oh boy. What? No, I ain't talking about that. No. I'm listening to you talking about her binky, and yeah, I was reading something. She ain't want that fucking binky nigga. She wanted a bottle.